I discovered this a few days ago when, so he's always done that. And again, he knows that. At this point, he knows it. Not who cares. You just kick out all his accounts or whatever. But always he never had a Clubhouse like Plus account. And recently I saw the room streaming. Dude, I was kicking out innocent people from the room. What was that room? The Trial of Europe. Yeah. I kicked out like 4 or 5 innocent people, just like checking to see if they were him. But then I kicked everybody that was there. But when I saw the streams, except Anna, and that's when I was talking to Abe about this. That's when I figured out. I was like, damn, Kitover has a Clubhouse Plus account, and so now there's nothing you can do except not start public.
There's nothing you can do, friends. Nothing.
You can't get in. But public rooms, his little Plus account can get in wherever he wants. And so I actually talked to him also about this. It kind of makes a tiny amount of sense if you want to to record this room, because this is not a replay room. I saw him restreaming one of like here in the hallway, one of Andrew's rooms that was already on replay. So he was making a replay of a replay room. I was even asking, I was like, what is the point? Nobody's gonna like look at your replay. It's like worse quality, etc. But obviously he made something up about, oh man, I'm streaming you guys to YouTube. I get like 10, 15 views. It's like not even a penny. I have no idea what he's doing. Again, these rooms that are not replay, you can be like, you can make a case. You're turning them into a replay room. But he's also doing it for replay rooms. He was doing it for the Talking Apes room today.
There he is again.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he doesn't care about consent.
Don't give no fucks about your consent, because you don't need consent.
Look, there he is. Election. So he's here on 2 accounts, on his Anon account and that Election Buttercup account. What's up, Kitover? I don't think I can let you up, man. But yeah, he's been doing this. Look, there's the YouTube link if you want to. Again, Kitover, I kind of understand you doing it to this room. Why do you do it to the already on replay rooms? It's just stupid. And you're not making money from it. If you were like streaming it and getting like AdSense and actually had viewers, maybe. I know. Dude, I know. I'm close to being monetized. Dude, even if you get monetized, you're going to have to, again, how much? You get like a penny for 1,000 views? It's going to take you forever to get 1,000 views on anything. Fourth of the way. Dude, you're delusional, man. You will never get... This original room doesn't get 1,000 views. What makes you think your bad quality audio live stream is going to get 1,000 views? No, you don't. You're getting bots. So it's like your views are also bots. They get put through like some kind of like authentication thing, and they get removed. Your views are gonna get removed because a lot of them are just bots.
Like, here's the thing, Siam. Like, John, for me, he's almost like hey, John. He's almost like a performance artist or canary in the coal mine. What I mean is he's making it very obvious what people that are far more powerful than him are doing to us on this app. Like our voices, our opinions, all these things are collected and the data sold. And anything that you say or Nargis says or anybody else says can easily be clipped out taken out of context, or at this point with artificial intelligence, our identities, anybody can be blackmailed for any reason whatsoever, like 10, 20 years from now. So just imagine, in a worst case scenario, imagine that the United States did fall into tyranny. All right. Any kind of fight against government or powerful people that you don't particularly like, they're just going to create false accusations against you, have fake videos of you committing crimes that you never committed, and lock you away. I'm absolutely certain of that. Like, that's obviously where things are headed. So John is just kind of like doing it in a playful manner, but he is kind of almost doing us a favor by saying, hey, look, anything you do online, it's nothing is secret. And, that's the world that we're heading into. I just don't know what to do about it, right? I don't know what to do about it.
I mean, that we know that we're being recorded and data harvested on the internet and social media. Like, we already know that. We don't need Kitover.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you said about August.
But it's almost a good thing because people need to be reminded. Like, a lot of people come on this app, they think they have privacy. An artist, I'm not saying that you're, gullible or something. I don't think you believe that.
I am gullible. I don't think any of us actually sit and think.
You're pure-hearted.
No, I'm just dumb like this. Like, in this regard, I'm not very intelligent. Like, I get very...
Right.
I get...
No, you're not gullible.
Used and I know. It's okay. My parents tell me too. Like, I know the trait in me. It's a growth area. We are the product in this app. We get to come on here and tease one another and have our little political debates, but at the end of the day, we're the product and we're feeding this machine. Yeah, and we forget that, and I think Kitover is like a good life example. You're right. Who's like reminding us that this is what's happening. And Kitover is doing it on a very small scale too.
Oh, tiny. It's nothing.
Yeah.
No.
So, but then we don't think when we come on, we give the benefit of doubt to it not perhaps happening, right?
No,
but someone's directly doing it, that's when you feel like, shit, I did not give consent. Like, what if I haven't got every freaking word that comes out of my mouth? And your mouth. And see, I'm the same.
But in my city here in Calgary, there's been reports a couple times it's happened already this year where people will record your voice or they'll find recordings of it and they'll
check on
it's called the grandmother or grandfather scam, where they call up your parents and they'll say, hey, this is Nargis, I'm stuck in Mexico. I went on vacation. Can you send me $2,000?
Yeah, it's happened to my sister. It's very bad, kiddo. And I'm telling you, I'm very gullible to the shit. Except,
and individual criminals are doing this, but they're not sophisticated whatsoever. Governments will do this. And people like Trump and the weirdos that surround him and the weird Epstein people and these billionaire control freaks, it's not about money for them. It's about control. It's about like them creating, and who is them, but just there's a small group of billionaires, not your average billionaires, but there's a small group of billionaires that are absolutely obsessed with technology because they see it as a means of cementing control. Right? I don't know if you were in the other room before, Nargis, but I actually know from my hometown, there's a family of billionaires, right? In my hometown, small town of 2,000 people. But they were the largest steel family in all of North America. And they are at odds big time with, very, very angry with Trump, right? Because they have factories in Ontario and in Michigan and Illinois and in Mexico as well. And Trump's putting up these fucking tariffs and it's pissing this family off, right? So there's regular billionaires, if there is such a thing, right? Hard to believe, but there's regular billionaires. And then there's a small group of people that are friends with Trump that are really they're throwing all of their faith into technology and AI. And they think that they're going to be able to control the world. And they're going to do whatever they can to become as powerful as they can and to maintain power. And they'll do that by blackmailing everybody and just every means of control possible.
Yeah. You check on my PTR.
What is it?
Have you ever seen Kitover's setup? With like his dozens of
Wow.
He had. So I've talked to him before. He told me he has how many Kitovers? 40-something accounts, 30-something YouTube accounts. They're all streaming 24 hours a day. That's just one little corner where you see those 6 phones running. Then look at all the other phones there, like lined up. Dude, he's got to have hundreds of phones. I don't even know how he afforded this. That's not my question. Well, he did say he's buying them like used, maybe like $10 a pop. But still, if he has 100 phones.
John, what is this? How many phones do you have?
Hundreds, bro. $30 cell phones.
Oh my god.
Dude, he has hundreds of them running and streaming and uploading. He was laughing. He's like, I can't believe they let you upload 24 hours a day. There's no like data limit. It was pretty funny, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, he's doing us a favor by just like showing us what like these billionaires that I'm talking about, like how they think.
The question is, why is John doing it? Like, isn't that a dopamine?
It's called mental illness.
No, he's not mentally ill.
He's not mentally ill.
Oh my god, bro, come on.
He is an artist. But
it is like
he's doing it.
No, you can say I'm autistic or whatever.
From an artist to an artist, bro. No, you're not understanding.
Undiagnosed mental.
No.
This is from an artist to an artist. I understand why he's doing it. Yeah.
Do you remember what's his name? Andy Warhol. He used to like make pictures of like Marilyn Monroe or Heinz ketchup, right? And because he was just like a mirror, he's just showing society what they are. Right. The reason he did like these boxes of like ketchup or things like that, he just reflected society at that moment. Well, yes, to me, I feel Kitover's just showing us like the politicians are jokesters.
You guys are gassing him up so much. This guy's literally masturbating to this shit right now.
He's an artist.
No, the reason Warhol did these tomato can things were like, he was trying to paint like really mundane stuff as opposed to like all the other artists trying to like paint like really complicated landscapes and etc. He was just, he went the other way.
No.
He was trying to get away from this abstract cubism art or whatever. Anyways, don't gas up Kitover, man.
No. See, the
He's
reason.
calling you a critic, but he's not. See, I'm just judgmental. He's not critical.
Look at the phones.
Look at his PTR.
See, the purpose of an artist is to. It's not normal, but our society isn't normal. Our society is not normal. Politics are not normal at this time. Why do you think John ran for politics? He was mocking the system.
Sure, okay. John, damn, I wish we could bring him up.
John, come on.
I know, but I think Ben and Pro are asleep. Most likely.
Can you get John up? I kind of want to understand this. This could actually be inspiring for my next project. John, what is this? He can't come up with us.
Matthew's a fan now. He loves you, Matthew. That's it. After what you just said about him, again,
He is
mentally ill.
It's not.
It's not. Society is mentally ill.
He's reflecting
Exactly what I want to hear. That's what he wants to hear.
No, this is how art works. I'm an artist. I know why he's doing it.
Yeah,
It's just that this is exactly what's happening.
Marcus, he streams 24 hours a day. This is
That's
like...
because have you seen
This
me
is
do?
not art. Wait.
Have you seen me do art?
This is AI
in a flow
slop.
state?
This is the streaming version of AI slop. This is not art.
He's showing you what the fuck is going on in the real world. He's a reflection of that shit. This is what he's showing you. This is what's happening in a world we cannot see. Behind us. 24 hours.
Well, I would like to ask him about the thing. So if you look at one of his other accounts, I don't know if he made the ballot or something for this election on March 17 or something. But like, John, you understand that even if you got some votes, they could just clip farm you on YouTube and just break down your entire campaign. Like, you never have to do anything.
Well, that's what his point was. A regular person nowadays cannot run for politics. There's no way they're going to make it. He's mocking the system, dude. Look, Sam, every time there's a really good, like a good person that reflects good art, what they do is they reflect society as it is, and then people look at it and they get pissed off about it, and they react to it like they're like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. It's like when fucking Andy Warhol was showing. No. Listen, I'll give you an example.
You know he's stroking it to your words right now.
Sam, just listen to me for a second. Sam, just listen to me for a second. So, during the 1960s, there was this famous news. It was a guy that went around New York City taking pictures of like car accidents or stuff like that, right? It was like horrific. And he became quite famous. So what criminals would do is they would call up this guy and they'd say, hey, I'm about to kill this person or something like that. And he would call them. The criminals would call this guy up and he would go to the scene and he would take the photos before the cops even got there, right? And people were fucking pissed off about them. And then his stories were in the media. And then Andy Warhol came along and he did paintings of this guy doing this stupid shit. So it's like culture reflecting art, reflecting on itself. And everybody was pissed off at Warhol because he was showing culture just how fucked up it was. And they were calling Andy Warhol crazy. But all he was doing was he was saying, look, this is what we've become. And I think, John, in a way, maybe he didn't set out to do this, but this is what he's doing at the moment. He's showing people, look at how fucking retarded everything's become. Right? Nardis gets it. You're too much of a logician.
No, dude, I get art. That's like
I do this for a living.
criticism of society.
What he's doing is just brilliant. It's awesome. Yeah, it is.
You're just giving him more shit to jerk off to.
This is not we're feeling hurt, and I think I first felt hurt because I was like, this is not with our consent initially, right? But what Kitover is doing is that he's showing us that nothing is being done with our consent, except that we cannot see. Like God, he's being God.
No, he's not being God. He's just showing how
things behind
corrupt
the scenes.
everything is, you know?
No, I mean the God of corruption. He's like doing it invisibly.
He's doing it visibly. He's doing it like he's showing it.
He's showing the visible of the invisible that is happening.
Yes. But the scary thing, Nargis, is that the people that are truly sophisticated with the billions and billions of dollars, they're doing this shit on a very fucking deep level. And we're in a lot of trouble. I have no idea what to do about it.
Look at CM, bro. Look at this.
That's John right now, bro. What are you talking about?
Just CM, what are you doing, bro? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Right now. John is rock hard listening to you guys, bro. What the fuck?
John is rock hard.
I bet that was hilarious. Oh, man.
Sick.
Oh, God. This is disturbing to even think about, man. Get a life, John. It's not art. It's the equivalent of AI slop. Nobody cares about this. Do real art.
I think he cares for us.
In a weird way, yeah.
He's just created a new room and we can talk.
I think so. Anybody that can come along and show the faults of culture cares in a way. They care. They're like, look at this is fucked up. There's something weird going on.
That's why he says, go read a book. Why do you guys sit on this app and jibber-jabber for 24 hours?
Do you think he reads books? He has these things.
He reads.
It's not dumb.
No, bro.
It's not dumb.
Kidding me.
Dude, he reads literature that I like reading with him. He reads Aleister Crowley. Like, who reads books of Aleister Crowley, bro?
I read Crowley's biography.
Well, his work is pretty good. And I've read with John before.
The only solution is gym and books. Two things, none of which he does.
Exactly. This also holds to you, John. You can't just want us to change. You can't be that sacrificial lamb on the cross.
The other day, he's like, I just ate 4 slices of pizza. I'm downing some.
He says, self-neurolinguistic programming, NLP. I've done 3 courses of it. It's cold outside at the moment.
With all that money you spent on phones, you could have got some, home gym equipment.
For the love of art, baby.
I went to jiu-jitsu today. I'm glad about that. Oh, I do gardening too.
Well, John does self-neurolinguistic programming on himself. And he does hypnosis. By the way, his hypnosis sessions are pretty good. I think CM should go to one of them. Oh my God, CM.
Wait, to what?
To his hypnosis sessions.
I've heard him ramble, just read some random stuff, reading to himself. I've heard him.
But they never take in the words. Also, the way he reads, though. Sometimes he reads
hello?
Hello? He reads basic stuff like Torah. He doesn't read the Torah. He reads it like the rabbis read it. Basic literature. It's interesting.
Ish. It's I don't know. Oh damn, Matthew left. I was gonna say we can start a room and talk to him, but it's just I'm telling you, interesting questions. How many phones does he own? How many YouTube accounts does he have?
He does read Tao. He does read Buddhism. Dhammapadmas. He reads Upanishads. I have seen that. Yeah, he reads good books. Spiritual stuff.
Hello?
Hello? Do it again, Sia?
No, I can't do it, dude. Hello? It's got a real funny thing.
No, but you did it well. Hello?
Wait, that was Nara? Oh, no. Read history books, man. Read science books. That's what you need to be reading.
I think he engaged that quantum.
Tomorrow I'll tell Pro to start modding me in these rooms because Benjamin and Bro always falls asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you guys can have like private rooms if you want.
I mean, I told Pro that we're getting streamed by Kitover. And I mean, he doesn't care. He also said he's like, well, if you're on Clubhouse, you should assume you're getting recorded almost everywhere. And he's got a point. Well, I guess this room will be open all night.
You wanted to believe in God? You want evidence for God's existence?
Yeah, I would love, yeah.
It's what happens in the invisible. Kitover is showing you the visible manifestation of it.
Again, you guys had him rock hard. This is not any demonstration of God. This is, again,
okay. Do you grant that God is a metaphysical being that is invisible?
To me, that sounds like non-existent.
Okay, let's hold that as a precept, right? So this invisible being has awareness.
Check out the phones. Look at his PTR.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are being recorded, and everything we do, the universe records it. Except that every now and then, something manifests in the universe, and all things recorded come to life. And Kitover is bringing that manifestation to life that we're able to see.
Do you want to go have?
Yeah, let's go have a talk with them.
Okay.
Or you want to make a new room or something?
Well, if we're talking to him, he won't kick us because he's always kicking me out of his rooms. But
why? He left.
Because I'm talking shit in the comments. Well, not even when I'm not. Right, hold on. Let me see what room he's streaming in. Okay, I found it. It's called Jews, Muslims, and Christians. It's a club, Untitled. I can pay you. All right, Kitover, go to that room. The Untitled Jews, Muslims, and Christians.
Okay, fine. Let's go.
Hello, John.
Welcome.
So tell us the truth. How hard were you listening to Nargis and Matthew?
I'm not hard, bro. I don't think you understand. I am known on Clownhouse. In every room, they fear me. Every room, they talk about me. They say, "There's that motherfucker John Kitover. I keep telling that motherfucker to stop live streaming our rooms, and that motherfucker keeps live streaming our shit. Motherfucker."
Hey, do that. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, John, we're going to interview you, okay?
Go for it.
So, yes, let's start with how many Clubhouse accounts do you have?
6.
Come on, it's like 60.
No, I got 6, and I got one burner with the Plus account, which you noted today, and I plan on creating more. But over the years, I've had at least like probably 40 accounts at least.
Wow, so only 6.
Which is really annoying. You know, they created the Plus account because of me. I hope you know that.
No, dude.
Yes, dude. Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, they didn't create this thing without thinking about me. They know me because everybody complains about me because I've created so many accounts. Do you have any idea how many accounts I've had to, like, pepper, meaning, like, cultivate? Like, all of this, a lot of my work was leading up to the Trump presidency and Kamala Harris because I was live streaming all the pro-Kamala Harris rooms. Anyways, you know, what other questions do you have?
Okay, and so you said, so you record these on Clubhouse, and then you stream them to YouTube, right?
No, I live stream my office onto YouTube, and everything that I'm listening to is being live streamed onto YouTube. And I have 40 plus YouTube accounts, and I rotate through them. And if you spend any time on my YouTube live, you can just randomly go to a YouTube live and say, "Oh my God, that's me talking. He recorded himself, and I'm in the background talking about nothing."
I know.
John, why did you do this?
Like you said, it's just a hobby art project. There's no financial, reward, but one of my YouTube accounts is actually fairly close. And I think within like a month and a half, 2 months, I could get pretty close to monetizing it. If I can actually get a monetized account, it'll be a big accomplishment.
John, do you do this? Obviously, every artist, I'm an artist. I mean, we want to create also some kind of awareness other than just like express our art, right? What is that you want to create?
So like the big thing is anger. I was talking to a Clubhouse user on here today, and I told him, I was like, could you imagine going 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 30 days without being angry? He's like, bro, I've never gone 1 day without getting angry. And so that's the big thing, is if you read all this wisdom and you're into God, the big message is, why are you getting angry if everything is, not a speck of dust out of place? Like, your anger is what's out of place. And too many people are just road raging. And this app is just a reservoir depository of anger, road rage sufferers who come on here and want to get their dopamine, but they're so stupid they don't read a book. And so, that's my complaint against these supposed atheists who come on here. They don't even read books about atheism. So you also have to look at it from a communications perspective, that all communication is hypnosis or politic or projection or spam. But my belief is most people just come on here and get their dopamine, but in the process, they're just creating low quality spam. I would rather get my dopamine and create high quality spam. CM thinks I don't read books, but I have read many, 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 many books on this app over the years. And many, many, many of my accounts, the original was called Audio Teachers. It got deleted. So years of work. Yeah, you say something politically out of line or controversial, they delete all your work. So this is the challenge that all artists face, which is the censor. And the censor on this app is very left-leaning. And a lot of left-leaning people on here who pose as right-leaning people are actually just left-leaning. And they report you and they attack you and they try to get you. Do you know how many people on here have called the FBI on me? The police, political people, like people absolutely hate me. And that's because of my opinion. But more than that, it's because I've recorded them being schmucks. And that's what really makes them annoyed with me, is say that, how dare he? I didn't give my consent. So like, we're dealing with like fascist kings here who, give everybody a green bean and take your green bean power ring out your asshole. People are crazy, Narges. People want to dominate. It's unsocial behavior.
Well, people don't want to be recorded without their consent.
I know, but I'm that guy who's challenging people to say, hey, guess what I'm doing? You don't like it. How are you going to deal with it? Because that's at the root of Stoic philosophies. You can't control your environment. You can only control your emotions. So when somebody comes in here and records you, oh, how dare he? He's mocking me. Because CM, that's what's really happening, is I'm mocking people. And so people will not tolerate being mocked. And I'm showing them that you can't prevent people from mocking you, but you can't control your emotions. But people can't do that, CM. That's the big thing in philosophy, education, and personal development is, are you in control of your emotions, or are your emotions in control of you?
Not just that, the content that they spew, it's filled with so much hate. And I'm quite certain that in their real lives, they're not exercising such behaviors, right? Because it would be so antisocial. For me, sometimes I'm bewildered by how people make statements, use words, and sort of not care for the sentiment of the other person, as as well as like not bother to check facts before making those statements. To run a freaking quick check on what we're saying. Also, like, have you observed, Kitover, like the dynamic in the rooms? Would you say that the theists, for example, and the atheist rooms operate differently? Or do you see like similar patterns? Obviously, you're going through
the one pattern is the dopamine creation. It doesn't matter what the topic is, it will still create dopamine. So that's why I say it's better to listen to smart stuff. Life is short, choose the best, hang out with the best people, hang out with the best books, consume the best media. And so, this app is going nowhere. It's again, it's John Kitover's garbage dump. And it will never stop because people are gonna create that dopamine for themselves. And I say read Shakespeare because then you're less of a dope. This app is brain rot. It really is perfect brain rot because AI can't compete with the dynamic of the human mind. Our brains, because we're so diabolical. And I don't know if you've ever like walked a dog. You'll notice that the dog is so multivariable that to even try to contain the dog or to get angry at the dog's behavior, that's a you problem. So people come on here and they get so immediately hypnotized with the other speakers that they basically become it deals with anger, or rage. Like, it is so funny listening to people crash out on this app from like a third party perspective, recording them, because you're like, I cannot believe people come on here and behave this way. But that is indicative of the way that they behave in the real world. If they're unstable here regularly, that means they are generally unstable in their real lives. And I don't like hanging out with people like that. I don't like working with them. I don't like talking with them. Like, you live your life that way, but I'm not a panican. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't panic. I'm not gonna sit there and, get my feathers fluffled because of some obnoxious person. I mean, I will endure an obnoxious person out of compassion and kindness and friendliness for a while. But again, it goes back to like that: you fool me once, shame on me; fool me, or opposite of that. But anyways, this app is an experiment, and people that don't spend any time doing personal development, they're depressed. You cannot come here and think that it's going to fill you up with the psychology that you need to essentially succeed in the real world, which is hyper competitive. You can use this app for personal development, but people just don't do that.
John, when did you get on this app?
2020, yeah.
And were you ever like a regular user, normal user, one account, like just?
Of course, yeah. Of course.
When did this?
Eventually, my account got deleted. Audio Teachers, I believe, was my first account, and I used it on my iPad. And I was recording books and talking politics and COVID-19 vaccines. Eventually, I got canned. I had many, many thousands of followers on that account.
Oh man, I can imagine your COVID live coverage.
Hey, John. Obviously, you're also observing a collective behave in a certain pattern, and you're also behaving certain individuals that stand out, right? Who are either too obnoxious, too out there, or too unique, in their own sense. Do you think you're differentiating between the two, or are you recording to understand how a collective works as a pattern?
I recognize that, you said earlier that I do neurolinguistic programming on myself. Yeah. And so basically when I listen to people here that are angry, mean, and nasty and hateful or violent, I become mean, angry, nasty, hateful, and violent in response as, a contrarian to their position. So I recognize the value of that, meaning that I am in control of my mind. And guys like Benjamin are good for a brief moment. They will help you focus your mind, encourage you to take a deep breath. So you have to look at this as like a public speaking opportunity for development. Toastmasters is a very professional way of doing debate club because nobody wants to waste their time at 7 a.m. before you got to go to work. So this app should technically be more professional, but it's not. You know, I've sat through many years of college in classrooms like you two, and you don't behave that way when a teacher is trying to educate you on a topic. So this app is just so unprofessional. It's just a bunch of clowns. And therefore, everyone here is worthy of incredible mockery. Because the truth is, if people wanted to use this app productively, they could, but they don't. They choose not to. So therefore, it's my opportunity to make fun of people and roast them. And I've always said that this app is a roasting app, whether I'm personally self-deprecating and roasting myself and making fun of myself, which has a lot of value, or I'm being made fun of by other people, and that has a lot of value. But when I make fun of other people, it also has great value. There's a lot of comedic value here because you're dealing with humans at their worst. It's vulgar, it's profane, and that's what a lot of comedy is, you know, is notarized for. It's successful because of that. So there's value here. It's just a question of how do you capture it? How do you frame it? How do you distribute it? You know, I think, you know how difficult it is to create a publishing business? It's very difficult. It's because I'm totally censored. I'm a bald, white, middle-aged man who's a conservative heterosexual. The algorithm doesn't even want to know I exist. But part of my fun is also experimenting with the algorithm. Like, I've put up 50,000 videos on YouTube, and I'm still always amazed at how random it is. My keywords seem like they have no impact whatsoever. So the algorithm is obviously biased. And we all know that these major platforms actually curate their content. And I'm just one of those Hillary Clinton, terribles or deplorables. And it's a challenge, but it's not one that I think has no value because either whether you like it or not, you're still stuck with the same game rules of communication. The same rules that Jesus Christ had, same rules that Buddha had, the same rules that Confucius had. But most people on this app will never read their books. And therefore, who's the schmuck, CM? The person who comes on here to waste all their time, to have casual conversations which go nowhere, or somebody who actually has the courage and the patience, because a lot of this deals with ADHD. Most people on here have an attention span of less than 30 seconds. 3 seconds is usually what the most you can get from somebody.
10 seconds tops. Hey, John, what do you think anonymity is the reason people are like so crazy on this app? Because I remember when Clubhouse first came out, people used to use their real names and pictures.
Yeah, I was criticized. Why don't you use your real identity? And I said, well, why do you use your real identity? And so
People did.
I know I'm a contrarian always, but now, especially after running for Congress, I don't mind centering myself and recording myself in a very obnoxious way. Like, what my behavior here is very much frowned upon by family, friends, society. Somebody who sits in their office and live streams themselves listening to strokers waste all their time is not viewed as being socially acceptable. But
wait, your family knows what's?
What do you think? I don't have family and friends that Google me and look at my shit? Of course I do. My mom is like, why do you always read with that stupid British accent? And I'm like, Mom, it's still me. I'm just doing a voice. It's a performance. And she goes, Dad, just use your regular voice. And I say, well, it's still me, Mom. She goes, I don't like it.
Way crazier, dude.
Well, that's okay. My whole point is I'm never going to have success unless I can annoy people. If I'm just, another person being normal, well, then I have no part of media is the insanity of it. If you see something different, it catches your eye because most shit is just normal, but I'm actually normal, which is the funny part. It's society, which is really fucked up. Nobody obeys the law. Everybody thinks their political position supersedes the law, and the law is all important. So, Nara, welcome to CM and Narje's Q&A with candidate John. Nara, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah.
Hey man, I don't think you sound like you I mean always we're all fans of each other. This is not a room of strokers for the record, and this is a collection of some of the most insane minds, insanely beautiful minds that has ever been. So not just CM much. Do you think you got it, bro? You really understand the artist, bro? Do you think you got it?
Yeah, I do it. Yeah, bro. This is what I do for a living, bro. This is why I understand what he does. Except, like, he's shown me that perhaps I'm feeling deprived in my life, and there's an emptiness for which I need to be heard, perhaps, by people on a platform such as this, which could have been used less frequently, once in a while. Instead, the freaking dopamine kick is so addictive that it just constantly gets you back. And a complete delusion of reality sets in. And we idiots sit on this instead of like valuing every minute of our lives. Spend it on just jibber jabbering.
A PhD like CM,
and I love
a PhD of maths.
John Kitover, I love you for showing this to me today. I truly appreciate you.
It's just like a work conference call. There's no difference. It's how professional are you? I can come on here and play the clown and the fool, or I can come on here and play the stock analyst if you want me to. I can be an architect if you want. I can be a philosopher. But the other thing that I've noticed, Narges, is that people are actually better with the jibber jabber than without it, because without it, they don't get the dopamine they need and they fall into depression. So guys like Doc, the military guy on here, he's a hardcore alcoholic. But actually with this app, linguistically and for mental health, it's helped him tremendously because of loneliness and depression. And so some people are better with it, but I always suggest to him, read a book on here and I'll listen to it, but he doesn't have the willpower to do it because most people aren't interested in books, or they just don't have the books. So, you can't really fault people for not reading great books when they actually don't own any great books.
Hey, John, so to go about what Nargis was saying, so who are like the most interesting characters to like follow and record here on Clubhouse for you?
Anybody who...
Are you willing to share the revenue of the stream?
Yeah, I will give dividends if I actually monetize. Of course I would. I would invite people. I would spend my money on real world events and soirees for people. Danny heard my theory earlier today about dopamine schmucks, meaning that it's better to read a book on here and get your dopamine, because we all need dopamine and words or talk therapy. So therefore, on average, let's say you say 800 words a day and you listen to 1,300 words a day. That's your daily average. And my challenge to you is, if you choose the content wisely and you read it yourself and you listen to it yourself, you've now created a bubble. And that is an anti-socialistic bubble, because you're no longer participating in this bird cacophony in a tree of people road raging in a tree and chirping like birds, but accomplishing nothing. And it's low value information transfer. So there's a way to PSYOP or NLP yourself for education, for personal development, for joy. Because if I were to ask you, what is the theory of joy? Most people could never tell me what the theory of joy is. Everybody on this app, they play the game. Prove to me God exists. But nobody here ever asks, what's the theory of joy? How do I actually maintain my dignity, my happiness? How do I create will, or how do I create gravity or power? There's just a lot of things nobody talks about here, because most people are just, it's the same characters. It's the same people.
Why are you making fun of Lou in that account?
That's not me, Danny.
Who are your interesting characters to record.
It just randomly happens. It's like an earthquake on here. I just scan I scan the rooms. I don't even look at room titles anymore. I just look for profile pictures of people that I know that are like involved in these cliques on this app. And there are cliques. It is what it is. There's nobody specific that is more interesting or less interesting. Some of the dumbest people on here, all of a sudden, they can become the most brilliant people in the world if they just utter one sentence, and you're like, oh, what a nice person in a room full of disgusting human beings.
Jesus Christ. He's angry, this man. What's up? He's angry.
128.
I'm not angry. I'm just, I'm a mirror, Nara.
You're angry, bro.
Well, I like making fun of people.
He's not really angry, bro. It's just how I express. He's not this. Hey, John, who are some of the interesting characters that you've come across, like, over a large period of time on this app? That are also like.
Again, there's nobody specific. The best way to see it is to just Google John Kitover and go to YouTube and then click on my lives and just randomly spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes listening to what I'm listening to. And then you would say, like a lot of people use my YouTubes as like a backup for their Clubhouse addiction. They want to see who I'm listening to, who I'm talking to. They want to hear the gossip. People's dopamine flares when gossip is being spread. So some people will come on here and create lies, aka gossip, just to create a mind virus, to get their own dopamine out of it, and also to create dopamine for other people. But this is human behavior, and it happens in the real world. Everything.
This is owning up to your shit. America fuck the world.
I got in trouble for making a rumor that someone on this app went to Epstein Island.
Is that Danny? Danny what?
They were really upset.
Danny, I didn't hear you. What is that?
I was in a room and I just said, this person went to Epstein Island. And they got really angry at me for like a week.
What the
Who
fuck?
believes you? Maybe if they're a millionaire. Hey, John, how about this? How about from now on, like, whenever I'm in like a interesting room that like I think should be recorded, could I ping you? You come in and record it?
Yeah, you think you're the first person? I get people all day long. Come in here, record this room. Come in here, record that room.
No way.
People hate people on here. They know that I'm just a garbage collector, and they hate people here. And they go, "Oh, somebody ping John Kitover, get him to record this." Oh, I fucking hate this person so bad.
This is so brilliant.
You were gonna say
Danny
bitch, and you were talking about me.
hysterically.
Who?
Danny was crying hysterically today in the room.
Yeah, I heard there was a room title.
Because someone told me that one of the people in the room was an FBI agent trying to put me away, and I have a child, so of course I'm gonna fucking cry.
It's a 22-year-old for your
That's
bag.
bullshit. I feel like people don't have that kind of time.
He's a
No, but this person keeps asking me for my social security number. This person keeps asking me really weird personal questions that I would never give someone else, So I do kind of believe that it's true. And they were trying to meet me today, and they keep saying they're going to poison me.
No, you guys are supposed to spend Thanksgiving together. I remember that.
Yeah, so he could poison me with some poisonous pie or some shit, and then take my organ.
You're playing. No, see.
Hold on,
Daddy, stop.
Daddy, why do you even hang out with this guy?
Are either in on the joke, or you
I don't
have
think it's a joke.
just as bad mental illness as John. Which one is
No,
it?
John isn't mentally ill. John is a genius. Don't say that.
That's the mental illness that I prefer to have. Is genius. I prefer to be infected with genius instead of some other disease.
Okay, Danny, either you're in on the joke, and like I feel comfortable joking around with you, and that's what I thought was the case. Okay, or you're a genius like John Kitover. Which one is it?
There we go. Maybe she's a
Which one is
genius.
it, Danny? Or are you normal like everybody else? Or you're a
CM, what does that mean?
Why are you pointing a finger at Danny? Why do you need Danny?
That's what CM does. He always points the finger at the cutest girl in the room. That's what CM does. This is his approach.
Sam, don't do that.
No, I hang out with Danny a lot, and again, I'm always joking with her, and I'm the other day,
okay,
I'm filling out filing the police report right now. Like, I'm joking with her, and I thought she knew that I was joking.
Bro, I'm a mom too. I don't like.
She's crying hysterically in a room.
Yeah, because their mom.
One of her friends is a Fed. I'm like,
because their moms, we get freaked out. We love our children more than ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's.
The guy who told me also tried to call CPS on me like 2 months back, but he said it was
Gigi trolling you, dude. He never said your name, nothing. I don't even know if he called you.
Gigi says that they were trolling me when they were talking about Fiona, but then they were like, "How are we going to deal with it? Are we going to get guns?" I'm like, no, and I get that part was a joke, right? But it made me even more upset.
Introduce you to my friend John.
No, listen.
CM, we're already friends on Facebook, and I don't date women with children, even though Danny is a genius and beautiful. Listen, CM, let's move this conversation forward like a bridge, okay?
Yeah, why are you being stuck in particulars? We're asking him the principles of why he does his work the way he does it.
John, tell me about your Church of Buttercup.
The Church of Buttercup is a mockery room dedicated to mocking Buttercup, who said that I'm a loser who records rooms and just kick them. So, like, if you're going to insult me, be careful, because now I will mirror you and I will clone you. And then eventually you will realize, oh, fuck, all of my unrecorded activity out here has been recorded by this loser bald asshole across all of these different accounts. I can't believe it. Plus 20 different YouTube. Oh my God, everything I've done out here for years has been recorded by this bald asshole. Everything I ever, and it's like, I can't even believe it either. Believe me, from like the person filming but a lot of this lives in my own mind because the quality of my work is so bad, but I have inspired others. There is a young man on this app that does a perfect one-to-one recording on Club Deck, and he live streams all these rooms on YouTube. And some of these rooms are so funny. You will never, these conversations will never be had again because most people don't like redundancy and repetition. And that really is the indication of mental health is, are you so fucked up that you repeat yourself all the time? And somebody like Nora Bandura, who repeats herself endlessly about this and that and this and that. I've heard the same story many times. And so I have a bell here. When somebody starts repeating themselves, I just hit the bell. I say, I'm hitting the bell every time you repeat yourself. So you got to look at this also from my perspective that I have offloaded all of these memories into the internet. When I go to sleep, I sleep like a fucking baby. I don't need to think about anything because all my memories, I'm Lawnmower Man, baby. I've already transversed into the digital domain. So if I were to die tomorrow and not wake up, I would be confident with my upload that at least the people I know, if they ever wanted access to me, they would just have to type in John Kitover. So in a way, I've achieved a state of immortality via spam. And I know a very successful, wealthy man who is very wealthy, like $100 million plus kind of wealthy. He doesn't need to work anymore, but guess what he's doing? He's just an influencer now. And I think CM is right. A lot of this is all just bot traffic. And it flares my dopamine when I go, oh, I got 5,000 views on this video. Chances are it's probably fucking all fake bots. And I am a schmuck. I wouldn't say it's a mental health issue. I would say it's not even gullibility. It's the fact that the dopamine will happen regardless of whether it's true or not. The environment impacts your dopamine. So, and anyways, does that answer your question, Sam?
That was my question.
Oh, Nara. Sorry, Nara.
Yeah, that's all right. Almost of a genius side.
Kind of.
I mean, that little thing over there, right there, that tail, just there. Just that, John.
I can't understand you, but I'm not a genius. I'm a schmuck. I mean, I'm a comedian, man.
No.
I'm
No, hold on. Listen. I was saying that tail right there where you said, you forgot whose question was that. Who asked the question? That tail, John, is what I'm talking about.
That tell?
Yeah.
That gave you up, John.
No, it didn't give me up. I was going on a ramble. That was me giving you a download and me uploading to you. You got to look at this as packets and quant. We are doing information packet exchange real time. And part of the problem of this app is we can't actually transfer large amounts of information in short amounts of time. So naturally, we're going to have a lot of friction because people get frustrated that they can't get their thought or their opinion to properly be received, with acceptance. So, anyways.
No, it is. I mean, it is being received. I mean, it is being received on it is beyond anyone's comprehension, and it is beyond us really what is truly happening here. All right. So let's have a little faith fulfilled. Understand that.
So, John, can I recommend a new target?
Go ahead.
I was gonna recommend Danny. You can help the agency, build the case against her, etc. by helping us gather information, recording the rooms that she's in. Because she's not in too many recorded rooms. So if you could follow her around Clubhouse and recorded rooms on, like I said, you would have got her crying hysterically in a room today. I had never seen that before. And so yeah, you can help the agency, build a case, which is what we're currently doing at the moment. So
we've been helping.
I recommend it.
I truly believe we can help it.
Listen, I can't help Danny. Only Danny can run the scripts through her head. I've given her my, thoughts, opinions, and upload. But part of life also is actually just listening to your friends say stupid shit. If you actually like somebody, do you know what you do to confirm that you like that person? You listen to that person uninterrupted and you let them get their dopamine off. And you know what? It's actually more annoying to resist somebody that won't shut the fuck up. So what you do is you just listen. And when you recognize that they've exhausted themselves and you can now get your word in, that's when you pop into the conversation. Otherwise is to cause yourself the friction. So, go into any room. People just hoard a green bean like it's the fucking Ring of Rings,
The Ring of Power.
It's the Ring of Power. It's crazy. People are crazy. And you think that I got mental health issues, CM? People on this app are neurotic. They're psychotic.
Lord of the Rings. John, do you ever record any black rooms?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of them, I've heard.
A lot.
Which ones?
Politically correct is my number one, and then there's others. But you will hear honestly some of the most ghetto, ratchet, hilarious convos ever.
Them for a good 4 months, just recording them every day.
Yeah.
Clubhouse cancer.
John is obsessed with
Chillism and politically correct. Yeah.
Even Andrew's rooms, I think you were recording at some point.
Yeah, a lot of Andrew's rooms, and to me, he is the toy doll from. He's Woody. Like the way he talks like he's a Christian evangelist. And it's like listening to Billy Graham sometimes. And I think that's his. See, you got to look at this as like a performance. That's his well-established identity. And it's a tragedy that he can't play any other roles. If you're typecast, do you know how depressing that is? That you have no range or flexibility or ability to basically transform into a new identity at will. Do you know how exhausting that must be to be that poor fucking guy? So he tries his best, but IQ and intelligence and genius, it's really like a cornucopia, meaning that like when you eat a Thanksgiving dinner, the genius is in the mixture, the admixture. Poor Andrew, unfortunately, he is he's doomed to failure because he's not dynamic enough. He's, that's my critique of his art. You see, CM, how artists and critics work now? You are a critic to John Kitover, and I'm a critic to CM. But I think that, people always criticize my quantity, and they say you have no quality. I've tried to create quality with quantity by using high quality content, aka reading books. The content on Clown House is garbage. And people that I know that know me in the real world, and then they see this online behavior and online recordings, and they say, who the fuck are you even talking to? And what are you,
Great question.
So is the joke on me the guy who's mocking everybody by recording them? And, see, people look at me and they hate themselves. Why is that? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yeah. I mean, John, so you're recording since the inception of Clubhouse? Oh, wow. Hello?
Kitover.
Hello? Hello? John, I respect your art, and I wish you the best. And I thank you for letting me know
Hey, Danny.
my own inner. Hello, I'm speaking. Hello? my own inner shortcoming, in a way. I think I'm going to get off the app, actually.
I got fired from my job. I'm not getting off this app.
No, I need to fulfill my ambitions. I've been slacking. And you know what? The interesting thing is, John Kitover sometimes finds me, calls me to his hypnosis room, and gives it to me as though he's a psychic. He says, why are you miserable? What's going on in your life? Are you fucking depressed?
Not funny, Danny.
Shit like that.
No, I say that to everybody because I recognize depression, meaning that I myself have dealt with depression, but I'm not perfect. I'm consuming a lot of cannabis over here and drinking alcohol and trying to get to the gym and trying to read more books.
Trying.
But the point is this app is like a 3D simulator that you can, utilize for your own joy. Just many people just don't know, because basically Narj is in that Persian room you were in. I was like, the problem why there's still so much conflict is because nobody here is playing any music. And you were like, I actually agree with that. And so when you listen to music or you create music and you recognize the challenge of actually creating, beautiful sounds, you realize that it's like this wordless state of mind, which is operating at a subconscious, modality or function. Anyways, I'm just saying that, make music, don't make war, make love, don't make hate. But again, what you put out in the universe is what is going to come back to you. So if the Persian people want peace, they have to put peace out there. Killing 15,000 people in the streets, they're going to cause their own demise. I mean, it's coming. Maybe it's fake news. I don't know, but how do you kill your cousins? How do you kill your neighbors? I could never do that.
Because they're assholes. So every now and then I've realized from the past couple of years that if I break in the song, okay, even for the most ridiculous things, or become the clown for a very serious room, it just fucking changes. There's a shift of consciousness. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, anytime you inject a word or emotions, or if I start, saying, don't think about the big, blue elephant in this room, the brain is a sponge and it will absorb anything it hears and it will ingest it and metabolize it. Some people's metabolisms are different, but all communication is politics. So you have to admit, and most people aren't aware of this, they are being politicians and being political in all their communication, in the workplace, on this app, with their family members. It's happening all the time.
They just don't say anything after a while. They're like, oh, it's crazy, Nagus. It's okay. You become that. And this is for everyone, by the way. I'm just using myself as an archetype. And this could happen to everyone. Anyone who's finding a very serious room that is bloody suffocating with seriousness, inject fucking humor into it. Become a clown like John Kitover becomes.
Well, I have stopped calling. I want to stop calling people stupid and just call them fools. But my whole thing is, if I get angry in a room, that's a me problem. I have found if I want to be professional, I just have to politely ask, "Hey, can I read a poem for 60 seconds?" Because I want to get my dopamine, but I want to spread high value wisdom and intelligence in that brief moment. Because it doesn't matter if it's out of context. It doesn't.
This is your dopamine.
Out of context doesn't matter because all of this nonsense is out of context. And if you juxtapose a beautiful 60-second poem into the live stream of the stupidity, the wisdom injection is a beautiful thing to do for other people and for yourself. So that's why I say, CM, like, to me, you're worthy of mockery. Narjas, you're worthy of mockery. Nara, Dan, until you read me a fucking book and you delight me and cause me to instantaneously go into a deep state of joy because you've now hypnotized me with intelligence, well, then I will applaud you. And until you do that, I will just keep roasting you. And then CM will come to me and say, hey, I got somebody new to roast for you. This is what people used to do in the 8th grade. They say, John, come make fun of Pam. I'm like, why do you want to make fun of Pam? Because she pissed me off. Will you come make fun of her? All right, let's go make fun of Pam.
I was joking about Danny, but you should check out my AI, consciousness, math, physics rooms. They're not bad.
You should check out my Sora videos. They're pretty funny.
Yeah, more brain rot.
I think I'm gonna read some Alistair Crowley with us. Me and John Kitover. They're so great. I enjoy them.
Yeah, it's just a little beyond quant. Not everything is a quant. I mean, some things are mana. So as like mana from the heavens.
Yeah.
So when you inject that wisdom into a room full of stupidity or ignorance, you do transmute that. You pass on that. That becomes part of your genetic code because it's memory, it's remembrance.
Yeah.
Even a drop, even a word, even a letter.
That's what the Buddha says. Even one sentence of good words is more than 10,000 useless bullshit. One little sentence is more valuable than 10,000 bullshit sentences on this app. So, but to me, the whole thing about wisdom is the anger management issue, but then also hypnosis relaxation or meditation or helping people focus their concentration, but using wisdom to do that. That is the secret sauce. That is the ice cream with the sprinkles on top. That is the New York strip with the butter and, in terms of maximizing dopamine. And that's what I told Danny. I was like, Danny, you should just start a Chabad and just read, wisdom books. She's like, I don't want to do that. And if I can't sit. Danny's got an excuse for everything, but Danny now knows my trick, my hidden genius, meaning that neurolinguistics is a technology. Prior to the printing press, we were all pretty much just farmers and doing, manual labor. We didn't have this ability to use our minds, using our imagination to mock, to criticize, because a lot of this deals with a caste type system. A book I read for the past week mocked doctors, and they were making fun of their vaccines. It was also mocking Christians and their appetite for fish. So you have to realize that there's a lot of hypocrites in very large organizations that are very much worthy of mockery because their supposed science is just eugenic garbage that is mutilating ourselves. It's not medicine. If you ask a person on this app, did the COVID-19 vaccine increase life or decrease lifespan? They're going to it increased your lifespan immediately. And then you're like, okay, scientists, show me your evidence, doctor. And they don't have any. Maybe they've got something, but either way, it's so tentative.
Supposed to increase lifespan.
I get it, but that's my point about the question. The question itself, first of all, nobody should entertain any question unless you think it's worthy of being entertained. Too many people on this app will entertain any fucking question you pose them. That's a serious problem. That shows that most people...
I agree with that.
Yeah, most people don't have the character, the will, the fortitude, the personality to say, hey, I won't entertain that question. Moving on. That's, but anyways, it is what it is.
Well, check out my PTR. Look at this is Danny's Club, Bathhouse Bucket. They're having a cool room right now.
Yeah, I could live stream them. You want to hear what they're saying? And then you tell me whether the conversation with John was more enlightening than something that you're going to hear in the bathhouse bucket.
Let's hear it.
They're not talking about you.
It doesn't matter what they're talking about. We want a sample. We want a random sample.
John Nosh.
Was it different, John?
John Nosh. And whatever, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Because Fiona claims to have heard that in a room, but I never heard anything like that.
Well, don't be surprised if Kitover.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, Kitover, thank you for the interview. This was enlightening. I realized that you're not actually a crazy person. You're just an artist.
Finally, Sia. That's what we've been trying to do.
But CM, now that you know this, you're gonna think all crazy people are just artists. So
That's right.
There's no such thing as crazy people. They're all just brilliant artists. Okay.
Well, see, CM, I hope you know that all communication is projection. So every time you criticized me, I just secretly had pity for you. I hope you know that. That's my final roast. It's my final roast.
Whatever you think of me. I'll relay the news to Buttercup, man. I'll tell her you're not actually crazy.
You're just a messenger. You're just a messenger boy, and you learn nothing from this conversation.
Why would you do that? She needs to learn it.
Yeah, I want to help her learn.
Like how we came and spoke to Kitover. Maybe it is on her for her own good and growth to come and interact with Kitover and face her fears and say,
Narcissus, it won't matter. You and I have done more work than she'll ever do. Just reading a book about the true identity of self is extremely valuable. CM will never do that work. CM, when you come on here,
what are you talking about, bro?
You won't see
I don't think I've read books about Buddhism. Have you ever read Siddhartha by Herman Hesse?
Dude, that's a history of Gautama Siddhartha.
Not history. It's a.
We read the Dhammapada. We read the freaking Upanishads. We read like Alistair Crowley's freaking cult books, like taboo shit, and it's brilliant, especially the way you're reading it with eloquence and articulation and
damn, you just have to look at this as hypnosis, and the whole point is relaxation and intelligence. Too many people on this app think that God is something else other than intelligence. God is like a software program in the universe of extreme intelligence operating in the background, in the subconscious as well. So a lot of this has to do with basically, it's all personal development. That's all it really is. It's just self-development.
I don't think God is intelligence either. I mean, intelligence is intelligence. Because this is like word games people play. Today, God is intelligence. Tomorrow, God is energy. The day after that, God is
that
love.
is my God motto.
Well, what is
God is love. The day after
okay, that's all.
God is the very attribute, the full set.
You could say God is 10 things. It's just God equals X to the 10th. I mean, it's just 10 different things to keep it simple. But the Yiddish expression is Alles is God. All is God. Everything is God. What do you think Allah means? Allah means everything is God. That's the secret. You're God. I'm God. Our words are God. The universe is God.
No.
The entire reality is what God is. Oh my God, Megatron can explain this.
Man is God. Is ALLAH. Is arm, leg.
Bro, stop. John, tell him how
That is the
you
outline
use
of
it.
a human.
Tell him how you use it, John. All.
Yeah, you have to slow it down. Too many people say Allah. You got to slow it down and say all. Because that's like the eureka part of it. All? This, because you got to look at it from a sound perspective. I know it's the English and we're not looking at it in Arabic. Anyways, Megatron, welcome to CM and Narja's Q&A with Canada John. They've been Q&A. See, Megatron's a cool dude. He doesn't care if I record his rooms. He doesn't give a shit. He does not care because he's a cool motherfucker. That's why.
She's the feds too.
You might be right about that.
Listen, anytime two white guys sit in a room or sit in a car or go to a bar, everybody always says, ew, they're the feds. That's because we live in this insane liberal leftist woke society where every white guy who's a heterosexual Christian, ew, it's a fed. I bet you people think Andrew R is a fucking fed. You know, that's the type of stupidity we're dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah, wait, which one is that? Is that the one that does the God rooms with the Discord, or is that the probably? Yeah, for sure.
He's not a fed.
God, shut up, Danny.
I have a crush.
Nobody here's a fed. Nobody.
I have a crush on Danny. I'm sorry. I had to move. Sorry.
Yo, back up for my girl, dude.
Cute, man.
This is psyop.
Well, how does it make you guys feel that Narja has told me she loves me? Has she ever told you that she loves you?
She's giving you your.
I love artists, man. I love my own people.
Yeah, Kitover is not crazy. He's just an artist.
I'm a video artist. You know, video art is not considered necessarily art, but it's the best form of art. It's the most dopamine creating artwork you can, because a 10-second video is actually 100,000 pictures, you know, or more. So it's compression. And you have to look at God as a compression. The now is the all, and the all is all important. God is what is called now in this nuanced, you know, spiritual Eckhart Tolle type way of looking at God.
Please, I'm done with the talking about God shit. Stop, please, stop, please.
That's all you talk about, Bart. What do you think?
Yeah, that's why. Seriously.
Arm, leg, arm, head. Yeah, that's right. Look at that. That's nice.
Mario gave me a headache last night. Looking about these prophecies. Oh my God, I got seriously a headache. Sicario. You're literally adding Jesus to your prophecy. You say you don't believe in him. It's like, I get you're a Jew, but you're saying that the Messiah now is going to build a third temple. But the second temple was up.
Go to your room.
Jesus was here. No, I'm just saying, like, it's just fucking confusing the shit out of me. I'm like,
from his little
like, how are you saying that?
He's a regular man.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, are you circumventing this shit?
I get it.
And he's like, and then they're like, well, no, because you're just not the real Messiah. So how are you building a third temple? What the fuck happened to the second one?
Well, thank you guys. Thanks, Kitover, for giving us this picture.
Right?
I'm going to go ahead and save the replay, so everybody say goodbye. Thanks, Kitover.
Here's the feds.
You know, not enough.
Here's the red heifer.
Many people.
You see, you don't say way worse than shit than him.
Of course not.
Yeah. I'm on.
Welcome back, Danny.
Gwen was going to say that I would think that everybody would like to be treated with dignity and respect, right? So we all treated everybody with that, then we wouldn't have these problems. That is the end of my sentence.
Okay. So, would you want to be treated?
With dignity and respect, yes. You don't want to be treated that way?
I don't want to be used at all. Treated?
How the fuck did you get used from being respected?
You want to get treated? Do you care? Do you literally care? As long as you respect yourself, your family, your life, your business, and everything else, isn't that the only thing that matters? Do you care about being treated a certain way by other people? To be treated is kind of like to be submissive to me.
How did we get here?
No. Because I used your word against you.
No, you didn't.
What's up, James? Thank you, James, for showing up. How's it going? Thank you. That's a nice car, too. You're going back to the future. DeLorean. Oh, yeah. The DeLorean is crazy. That's nice, bro. Yeah, I went to a museum where they have the original DeLorean. It's pretty cool. Oh, shit. I thought that was in your garage. Oh, I wish. Bro. Anyways, I'm glad that you showed up because I was definitely about to get attacked by a bunch of lioness. But listen, like, I don't want to be treated. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know it. I don't want to be treated. No. I want to control the narrative, right, of my life. The perspective of my life, the protector.
So if every man for the rest of your life approached you and said, "What's up, you funky bitch," right?
And it's sad, really, because Iranians are really nice people as well. So
Exactly. Are you guys?
Can I just say as well, just one more thing? If you go back 50 years,
Welcome back, Lajays.
Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, many other places.
Next weekend they be doing some shit again.
Anything you want to say, RJ? That was a good room. You know, I hope it was beneficial for CM because he lives with a lot of anger and hate for me. You know, that's the thing is until you talk to somebody, you don't really know who you're talking about.
You know what it is? Kitover, he doesn't get it. Some minds are not designed like that. Like Matthew and I instantly got it. And maybe you've spoken to Matthew.
Yeah, many times.
I've known this about you, by the way. For me, it was always why. Like, what is the muse giving you? Like, how is it manifesting? Like, for you, where's the dopamine hit for you? That is what interested me. More than, like, I get the process. For CM, he's never going to get it.
No, I mean, he's young. Like, but, you know, 20 years. Young,
but
if he makes it, right? if he makes it, that's the thing. You don't know. Some people aren't going to make 20 more years and then get the aha. But even if you get the aha, you can still forget it. It's just, it's like, you know, it's very difficult. This is why Jews do what they do, because they are trying to control their environment. That's, you know, there's a book called the Shulchan Aruch, and basically it tells you when to tie your fucking shoes. So they are like robots, but by being a robot, they give up. Despite, you know, I'm saying they give in, they surrender to it because they know that it's so much chaos out there that their experiment,
right? Like they allow the discipline to sort of take its own road of control.
But it's the same thing as a Hindu. Like they're on a calendar. Yeah.
And these are very intelligent systems in which this robotic behavior is just one acting by default so that your brain can process more interesting things, more intelligent information.
Yeah. That's the thing I forget too, is like meditation is actually just focused concentration. And one way to do that is through suggestion and breath. So this is my whole critique of Clown House is it's such a muddled chaos that it's totally worthy of mockery. You should film people at their worst because that's what we're trying to do the opposite of, which is focused concentration. for achievements in consciousness and intelligence and other, just basically our lives on the back end of all this madness. Like if you let this app, like I had garbage build up in my house for like, I didn't take the garbage out right away, and it's like, it's because I'm on this fucking app. So the power is real.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I felt the same, and I was like, this is not right. This is so bad.
It is the black hole or the pit. It is, look at, like, do you have a white background or a black background on your phone?
Black.
Yeah, it is a pit. And I'm not saying that you can't enjoy the pit. Like the pit
it's
is
not working. It's working to my detriment.
Well, that's my critique of you is you're actually, if you start recording yourself, if you got the balls to live stream yourself, but the thing you have to look at the word live stream is I'm actually alive because of the live stream. It's in the word itself. So most people will never do what I'm doing. They're too afraid to film themselves, and they just do screen records. But they never use their identity. They never put themselves out there. And, I'm in a situation where I can do what I'm doing without getting knocked off of, my income stream. And all I'm looking to do is increase my income stream. But it may or may not happen. And it's okay, because I think in the long run, my observations here will serve me well. I can confidently go knock or interview anywhere and not have that nervousness, that I used to have. And it's because I'm a better public speaker. I'm more in control of my emotions and more in control of my speech. But some people, my critique too is like Uncle Steve, he wants to be remembered from Clubhouse. He said the other day, when I die, I want this to be my legacy. And then I started shivering because I was like, I don't want that to be me. I don't want that to be me. But at least I've read books, and I feel like in that way I've separated myself from the herd.
A lot of us have learned a lot. I engage in intellectual rooms a lot, or at least like they interest me so much. For my outside world, my real world, I engage in the arts, theater, and just design, right? Or architecture, because I'm an architect. But within here, I engage in intellectual discourse, or at least try to.
Yeah, but poetry is the secret, though. You need to engage in poetry with these people. Do you know how much joy you would give people in this horrible app of despair if you just came here and read to them Rumi? Do you know how big your rooms would be? Oh my God, you would hypnotize hundreds of people, but you don't do it.
We do it sometimes. Once a week, we used to do it often. And then I try to do it in like analytical rooms. Like even in
CM is back for his dopamine. You'll have to go to the other CM and Narja's Q&A with John room, CM. It's in the atheist prove to me God does not exist room. Not this one. It's another one.
Like even with the atheists, every time I've tried to like posit metaphysics, which is the poetry of logic, or people such as myself, they make fun of it. Like, which is nothing but the poetry of logic. And for some of us, we just keep quiet because it's branded as like woo-woo or whatever the fuck. And I'm not ashamed of it. It is the core of theism. But it's just that I know I can't get through. And many of us are in such a boat.
Yeah, but my complaint is I don't want to eat your footnotes or your references. Just read to me the effing book and put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, but nobody's going to do that. Nobody does that. Like, I come on here and I read, and I don't, like, if I have one listener, it's enough for me to read. I don't need 10 people. I'm here to read a new book, to run it through my brain, And you know, the amazing thing is when I read a book that I've never read before, like every single sentence is new, and you can recognize when you've, reread a sentence and you're like, I already read that sentence. I don't want to, why? Oh, I got to go to the spot where I left off. So the brain is so incredible at detecting what it's already observed. Its memory is is perfect almost. So, but also by recording myself, it's like I'm just uploading my memories, and I don't need to go back and look at them. But when I do, sometimes I'm entertained. But I'm like Johnny Depp, there's no reason to go back and watch what you were in. Just move on to the next. So
I love Johnny Depp. You know what, Kitover? People like you and me and some others, including Daniel Nero, your arch nemesis, do not have this drive for poetry and art, and basically me having, I don't want to be pompous, but I'm well read in literature and Shakespeare and poetry, etc. Right? Simply because of the school system I went to,
yeah.
and my own interest. This is not the crowd for it. And I don't know where that crowd even exists on this app.
It doesn't matter. Hypnosis is what's happening here. So that's why I say it doesn't matter if you read something that's out of context. People will still take it because they're sponges. They just absorb whatever you throw at them. Everything is an experiment here, and you have to look at yourself and know, is this draining me or is it filling me? Because the metaphor is always the cup. You are the cup, and what you put in your cup is what you are. So if you come in here and you listen to Barth and you hear all these fucking endless, pointless, stupid conversations, which are actually nothing more than ESL fucking training sessions, your cup is empty. And then you are the tarot card of.
I remember you said that this is an app for farms to come in so you can practice, international students to come and practice their English.
That's it. Otherwise, read me a book. You just here to practice English, American English.
Yeah.
Give me valuable information. You have to look at it as you're a spy and your time is running out and you're looking for nuggets. Gossip is interesting. Gossip and slander and defamation are actually more interesting than most of the slop you get fed here. That's why people love to hear that John Kitover is being investigated for election fraud. It sounds dramatic. It gets people's dopamine, titillated. Look what it does to Daniel Nero. It's the only thing he can talk about because it gives his depressed ass the dopamine that he can't generate. Lazy fuck can't read a book. Sometimes he does, I'll give it to him. Sometimes Barth does, but my point is, if you do it more, you're going to get a hell of a lot more out of this fucking app than you would otherwise. Not a lot of people can read because they're at work or they're in transport and they're driving. So count your lucky stars if you have the time and the focus to even read. I don't like reading. It takes a spirit to get me to do it. It's just not comfortable reading, but the reward is there when you do it because it's floods your brain at a level that nothing else can flood it with. It's creating neurons. It's expanding your consciousness literally in your brain. Like that former speaker said, it modifies your genetics when you read a book, which is remarkable. And if it's a really smart book, I mean, what else are we here for but, to try to exceed and improve and perfect ourselves. We are we're like artists molding ourselves. We're in a tomb of a block stone, and we're chiseling our way out of this lack of awareness.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I need to go to the gym. I'm getting fat, and I'm too lazy to get in my car, and then my battery on my car dies, and I'm just this is crazy. My fucking battery keeps dying in my car. I just got a new fucking battery. So there's something draining the battery in my car. It's the alarm system, but life is frustrating.
How often did you have to change it? Because that happened to me, but you could return the battery to the store if it's within the year.
Yeah, it's got a policy, and I did AAA, so I can get the guy to come back and get me a new one. But I'm just saying, like, you think you're going to go to the gym, and you finally get the energy to go to the gym. You get in the car, and your fucking car doesn't start, and you're like, holy shit, I can't even go to the fucking gym because my car won't start.
It will cost more money with the AAA, but then I guess if you had to get an Uber to go to the place, you know.
Yeah, but you're also kind of obsessed with this, I think, John.
No, I'm just saying my default.
I think you're also kind of addicted to the dopamine.
Of course I am, but I'm at least reading books, for God's sakes. I'm not just eating slop like the rest of the pigs on this app all day long. I don't care how smart somebody claims they are or how smart a supermod claims this speaker is. It's all hypnosis, and it's not benefiting me to listen to anything on this app. Nothing, unless it comes from a really good book. It's a low IQ packet transfer. It's just fucking social.
Saying that the only people that you care about are the people that the publishers gatekeep?
No, I care about people on this app, but not for long. Meaning that, like, I'll care about with you if I'm talking to you. But truth is, like, we're all just siloed and totally categorized, and we're never going to go into business, and we're never going to go to the gym together. So the best thing I can give you is a little poetry from a little book. Wouldn't you agree?
Into business? I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, here you are. Read a book. We can start there. That's what I'm saying. Is like people are so unprofessional.
I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, kind of. Not really. I just heard him talk on YouTube and read the book himself.
Well, I told you to get a Tanya book, get the Tao Te Ching, get any wisdom book, and I'll record you reading it, and then you can put it on your social media.
We can read that one.
Do you have Sora yet? Are you creating AI videos of yourself? Because I don't
want to waste any water. Okay, I already take really long showers.
Well, then we're never going to get into business, unfortunately. But you're more than welcome to listen to me or other people read a book. I'm telling you, Danny, IQ and EQ. Do you know what IQ, EQ stands for?
Yeah. My IQ is 128 and my EQ is on top of the world.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is don't waste your time in this pit of despair of an app unless you bring into it light. Because what you bring into it is what you're going to take out of it. You're never going to leave with somebody else's deposit. It's just impossible. This app is a garbage heap. It's literally a garbage can. And if you don't bring light into this dark pit of despair, you will just leave with other people's despair. It is a neurotic, linguistic pile of shit. That's what it is. It's literally imagine listening to Resistance, that piece of shit, use profanity nonstop. You just walk away with turds all over yourself unless you come in here and read some type. Today was good. At least you sang, the Amida and other things. But you can expand on that. Don't just limit yourself to that. Come on here and grab a fucking book off your bookshelf, of high value personal development book like the Dhammapada, Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, the Psalms, anything. Read it tomorrow. When you come on here and you want to get your dopamine, say to yourself, fucking John programmed me to read a book, and that's what I'm going to do. And then after you read it, you're going to say, I feel great because I just got the dopamine and I increased my IQ by reading something smart. I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Hello?
Hello?
Hello is hypnosis. That is a black beacon signal for a radar system sending out a ping to see if it can hear back another hello. It's like a monkey or a bird in the jungle letting out a mating call to see what it'll hear back. Hello?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, it's the same thing as can you hear me now? It's the same thing.
Well, that was a commercial. You remember it?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
The bars. Does it have the bars in it too?
You remember Jared and all the Subway commercials? He's sitting in prison still for trying to molest children. You know, it's unbelievable.
I know. Was he on the Epstein list?
No, but he got brought down by some woman who was recording their conversations where she was entrapping him. See, Jared's prosecution could be like one of the crazy, morality police prosecutions where he didn't actually engage in anything, but he was engaged in a conspiracy. And this guy was like famous, but people, because of their lack of character, they get entrapped all the time. Like the honeypots, the CIA honeypots. There's more than just CIA honeypots. Girls are running honeypots, like for themselves. It's just crazy because I use these dating apps. I go out on dates. There are girls that are literally just running their own honeypots. Like that's I don't even. Some of these people don't work. Some of them do, but some women just don't work, and they've made it because of their thirst traps. Very rare, but there are successful honeypotters out there. You should make this app into a honeypot, Otherwise, you are the honeypot for other people. That's my point, is you can manipulate people on this app with your words. Reading a script is much better than just muttering your opinions. You will definitely hypnotize people on this app. And you can control them if you want. You can make them your slave. The slaves shall serve. Hello? I guess the final summation is I often also forget that there is like a mating ritual happening on this app subconsciously for a lot of people. Young men, like CM fingering you in this room, that's like him. We're just like monkeys in a cage, and there's a silverback sitting up there like aloof, and there's all these other, alpha primate monkeys running around trying to gather attention, the focus and attention economy inside the arboretum. Hello? And there's a lot of women doing the same thing. I don't often think about that, but I always forget that people are essentially catcalling on this app. And it is very much like a jungle. And when Michelle Obama gets projected as a monkey, all the other monkeys in the cage start screaming, saying, like, you've mocked my entire. It was the funniest thing listening to black people on this app saying, we are fucking monkeys. You are a fucking monkey. You are a Homo sapien primate monkey. You're a fucking monkey. And now we need to have the conversation about why we are talking. Like, it was the funniest moment to hear people say it was racist, but we need to admit that we're talking monkeys. I was like, I never thought in the world I would get to hear black people sit there and have a conversation about how they're monkeys, even though they're upset that Michelle Obama was portrayed as a monkey. I was like, this is probably the funniest conversation I've ever heard on this app.
Oh, we are monkeys.
Well, that's an opinion. I would say we have transcended. See, the whole thing, the myth, the Egyptian myth of the Thoth, Hermes Trismegistus, he has a pet, he has like a monkey apprentice. So that whole metaphor is just, we are talking monkeys, but because of chemicals and because of linguistics, we have transcended out of this primordial monkey mind, and we have evolved into almost like a surreal or superficial projection, meaning that like we can use our minds like 3D simulators, like software programs. AI is still catching up to us. It really is. And in many ways, AI...
I have aphantasia, so I don't have that.
Well,
when I close my eyes, I can visualize, 3D projects or completed projects. Like the brain can, whatever it can basically imagine, it can actually maybe build. And if you think about like the nuclear bomb and uranium enrichment and how to detonate it and all that, like that was all visualized and, mathematically formulated. Anyways, I'm a schmuck, I'm no chemist. I have rudimentary biological, chemical, physics, education. I'm just an undergrad and a poor one at that. But that's not what's important because, I'm interested in influence. And philosophy to me is the smartest way to influence people because it's on the flip side of a politician, and every politician wants to be a philosopher, and they're trying to be. Many people are just catching up, and there's an infinite amount of work to be done. So you have to be very discerning and discriminating in what you listen to. That's the big secret. Why do you think, Danny, the word earth has the word ear in front of it? Because your success in life is not what you say, it's what you're listening to. Because what you say is dependent on what you listen to. But I'm just saying, be very discerning. Like you've got people that are vampires and energy parasites that want your attention. And it's to your detriment because what you're listening to is stupid. It's pointless drivel. It's just garbage. So, the way to fill yourself with light is through wisdom. And the best way to get it is through a book. It can't be replaced. And that's the secret, Danny, is your life is really dependent upon what your consumption is, what you're listening to, what you're putting inside of yourself. That's who you are for the most part. And if all you're putting inside of yourself is this app, well, you're just a black hole then. And you don't want to be a black hole. You want to be the sun, the source of light. And because the sun is totally automated and infinite, like for the most part. I mean, it's an infinite source of never-ending energy and gravity, extraordinary density. The sun is actually, in a way, it already is like the opposite of itself, if that makes any sense. It is like the fact that you look at it and it's so light and so bright, it's actually like a black hole because all around it is complete and total vacuum and darkness and blackness. But where does it come from? Like it's just shining out of nothingness. So in a way, it's like because it's going to turn into a black hole, it already has like the engineering of a black hole. But I'm not saying we need to think of it backwards, but it's turning into a black hole. Anyways, does any of that make sense, or is that just like schizophrenic rambling? Hello? It would be better if I just read to you, because my stupid opinions it's the same shit you're going to get from other losers on this app. It's just stupid opinions. Better to listen to a book of a genius. John Kitover's not a genius. John Kitover's just a spammer. I hope you know that, Danny. I'm just a spammer. My whole life I've been spamming, and I've made money doing it.
I want to get paid to make spam too.
Well, and join me. I just had JD Vance endorse me as a write-in candidate, but I made the video myself on Sora.
Could you get in trouble though, like for that type of stuff?
You're so worried about getting in trouble. Do you know the secret of not getting in trouble is to ask for forgiveness later, Danny? Haven't you experimented enough and figured out you can do whatever you want to do as long as you don't physically hurt somebody, or defraud somebody? You can always ask for forgiveness. Oh, you want me to delete that? You want me to take that down? Sure, no problem. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. You know how many times sorry has saved John Kitover? Do you know how many apologies I've issued to people that I've offended because I didn't want to deal with more difficulties? I just issue a sincere apology. I say, I'm immature and stupid. I'm sorry. and they say, "Oh, you're the first person that's ever apologized to me. I forgive you completely. And in fact, I endorse you." That's how it works, Danny. That's how apologies work. You get an endorsement afterwards because they're so impressed with your apology. Because all communication is hypnosis. And it's political. Hello. Like, look at Narja's here. She just 50 minutes ago, she was saying she hates the Zionist kikes. She can't stand Jews. And now she's sitting here getting hypnotized by a Jew. Narja's is the most tentative, superfluous person. She claims she's an artist, but she wastes all her time with non-artistic people wasting her time, involved in the most intricate little detailed conversations about the most pointless little details and things. She knows it. You know, should have been there for the fish. I read such a great statement today about desire and conscious expansion, and really how in so many ways you're really not in control, but there's ways to like manipulate gravity itself, consciously or psychologically speaking. But I think it's all just like a projection, meaning that you're like a pass-through agent conducting an operation of spam and projecting against other people, because the whole, like, look at the Clintons, look at Trump, look at all of these musicians who are really just magicians, like Bad Bunny. Do you know people in that stadium couldn't even see the performance because he was surrounded by corn and they could just hear the music, but the whole thing was just a charade, meaning that they just filmed it and put it out on the internet, and it's got hundreds of millions of views, but people in the stadium couldn't even fucking see it. So that's the type of communication success that I'm talking about with wisdom. Is it's the same thing that religions and churches are doing with these prosperity gospels. They're hypnotizing their audience and draining them like a parasite. And so, Danny, I'm just telling you that your success is really the sounds you can make. So get more interested in being a recorder, in the recording industry. You have to look at it as an industrial artistic endeavor. Like I consult with musicians that already have huge followings, but they're not getting the engagement that they used to get because nobody likes repetition. It's redundant. So I'm trying to explain to musicians how to increase their audience and how to increase their engagement. Like, look at CM. CM is back because he can't get his dopamine in other rooms the way that he gets it here. Because I'm so good at giving dopamine to people. Because I know what dopes want. They want dopamine.
Well, some people like repetition,
Not an infinite amount of it. How many times are you going to listen to the same song? Yeah, people like, a variety. And yes, they may listen to the same variety, but they want the mix. They want the mixed nuts, and they want the bag of cashews and the bag of walnuts and the bag of almonds. Life is about everybody wants abundance, which is basically a big mix, but John is not insane. He's just an artist. See, I've reframed myself in CM's opinion of me because he's never spent any time, actually trying to understand my perspective. And, people criticize me, but do you know how much time I've spent listening to people on this app? It's like I have a whole Rolodex of people in my brain that just, it's there. I know a lot of people because of this app, and I don't talk to them. I listen to them and I record them. I don't have to talk to them. I'm recording them. And the fact of the matter is, I don't even want to talk to them because what they're talking about is so stupid. It's so pointless. I don't care what you're cooking for dinner. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. It's just a complaint fucking forum for people. That's all it is. And all morning long, people just sit there and fucking complain. It's so pointless and so stupid. It's laughable. People are pathetic. Hello? Claudius, welcome.
Hello.
Oh, I know Claudius.
Do you know me?
Oh, maybe I don't. But, usually it's a little bit like name that tune. You can identify somebody within just like 3 seconds of listening to them.
Maybe I've been in a room before that you heard me trolling in or something.
No, I don't know your voice, but I know who I'm thinking about that I thought you were. Anyways, welcome to the room.
Travis? You think I was Travis?
No, I thought you were, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'd have to think. He's got a little Chihuahua picture. He's got a Chihuahua dog. Anyways, we're just wrapping up here. Is there anything you want to ask a question about, or anything you want to say? Anything top of mind?
Was this in what was the topic of discussion before I got in here?
Communication theory.
Oh, okay. Bitzer and all that. No, I have nothing to add. Nothing to add to Bitzer.
Fantastic. Danny, anything else? Because it's late and I'm getting ready to use a water pick, and then I'm going to brush my teeth, and then I'm going to floss my teeth, and I'm going to scrape my tongue. Do you use a tongue scraper?
I do.
I gave this girl a tongue scraper as a gift, a girl that I was dating. And she's like, why would you, I don't want a tongue scraper.
Yeah. I had the same. For me, it was one of my girlfriends. I said, you should brush your tongue. And she was horrified. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, every time I brush my teeth, I brush my tongue and I scrape it. And she didn't believe me. She thought which means she never brushed her tongue in her life, which really, really kills me.
Yeah, the girl that I gave the tongue.
I just like the plastic scraper. The metal one's a little too much, And I don't do the brushing of the tongue. Is that bad?
You have to do both. So the scraping removes the actual physical tar, but the brushing sanitizes. Like brushing the tongue gets into all the nooks and crannies. All the scraper can do is get rid of the majority of the gunk and tar that forms on your tongue. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you have a lot of dead skin cell or tongue skin cells.
Detritus.
Yeah, detritus. Yeah, actually, that's the perfect term. I'd compare it to something else, but I don't want to make that comparison because it's disgusting. So detritus is much better.
Hey, let me ask you a follow-up question, Cletus. Have you ever said to your girlfriend, why don't you wash your pussy with soap and water and scrub that pussy?
That's a pH issue.
Well, that's my complaint is how the fuck are you going to tell me you don't wash your pussy? And it's a pH issue.
They do wash it with what's called intimate soap or this special soap.
What's the difference?
The intimate soap is non-pH affecting, whereas although I don't know how that's possible because any water, if you introduce any water whatsoever into the opening, you would naturally change the pH. But I don't know if that's even true, right? I don't even know if that's a valid thing. I think you can wash it outside without affecting it with normal soap.
Okay, final follow-up question is there such a thing as a hermaphrodite? Or is it a concept?
Isn't this a genetic, isn't this a biological
I'm
about intersex?
I'm asking, intersex hermaphrodite. Is it a concept or is it a reality? Is it a fact?
Wait, I need to get. So Danny, why did you correct him and say intersex?
This is the new age
feel
term.
Like this is what it's called now.
Yeah.
Why would it? So that's a political term.
Yeah.
Historical and biologically correct term is hermaphroditism.
Okay.
But my point is, it doesn't exist, just like the word intersex, because if you Google hermaphrodite, guess what you're going to see? You're going to see pictures of women with enlarged clitorises, and they're saying that is what a hermaphrodite is.
They don't have dropped, they don't have dropped sexual organs, so they would have male organs, but they have not fully developed, and so they're neither, they're infertile as well, which is another, in either direction, they're unable to.
I think sometimes they could be fertile, but I don't know. I think sometimes because there's minor, and then there's I guess hermaphrodite would be full, maybe there's a difference between intersex and hermaphroditism. I don't know.
I think it is the same thing. The idea that there is in one person, although the person is always presenting as one gender, typically. And they imagine themselves as one gender. Like they don't, it's not a social choice either. There's like some specific, like their body presents with biological markers of a woman or a man.
No, I don't. I think what happens is when you're born, my mother was a speech pathologist teacher for just a little bit, and one of her students had it, and I think this must have been in the 70s or something. But they had to make a choice, right? Like when the kid was young, like what gender. And I think after research, they're finding that could be very harmful to make the choice for the kid. Well, I don't know. So
that's why I'm laughing. It's like,
You have a son, and then you're like, you know what, honey? I think that we should pick the female gender for our son. And then they're like, it might be harmful to pick a new gender for our son. It's like, come on, Danny. Like, are you really retarded?
No, but this wasn't intersex. This kid was intersex.
Yeah, but this is also a non-intersex phenomenon. Like in California and other places, like it's apparent. And I remember reading about this. I'm not American, by the way, or Canadian. I just have like an American-sounding accent because I went to boarding school. But I remember reading about this phenomenon in America and thinking, this is surely rage bait. Like this is surely not a real thing, and this is just propaganda. And then I looked it up. It's a real fucking thing. And there were people like advocating for it on the Wall Street Journal. Like, no way, this is a thing. And the way they discern this is they give the kid like toys or something, to that effect, and they let the kid like pick the toys or pick the color, and that's how they figure out what gender the kid is, because they're trying to like gender affirm early on. Anyway, that's fucking insane. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, no shit that then when you extend it to someone with the actual biological issue, it's even worse. It's gotta be even worse.
There are people on this app that for them, the trans issue is so political for them. It's like the first thing or one of the most important topics that they go to when they're talking about conservatives and Republicans and Trump. And it just blows my mind that so many people, like, that's their big issue. They don't care that we're 40 trillion in debt. We were in war for 25 years. We've got all these major issues going on. They're concerned that a man who wants to go into the Target bathroom and then gets busted wants to put on a performative complaint and say, oh, how dare you? Like, that's what they're concerned about, is the guy's performance in the bathroom. Their argument
for gender subjectivity is reductio ad absurdum, because you can never create any stable priors for what defines gender, and because you're unable to really, and this, I'm obviously conservative if I hold this view. I think because you can't establish priors, you can't be prescriptive about it. But like in their own self-defeating argument, they're basically eliminating womanhood and eliminating malehood, right, as like a social concept, like overlying the obvious biological reality. And by doing this, they're actually hurting themselves. Like the feminist or socially progressive movement or the gay rights movement or whatever, they're all sort of harming themselves in trying to eliminate these gender distinctions altogether, because once you get to this reductio ad absurdum on gender, you can also apply it to anything, and you can eliminate any distinction between anything. Like it's sort of a I don't know. I think these are like, gender is something that is irreducible. Like you can't really you can't. I mean, I understand that it is, or rather, I understand their point that it is irreducible to any one single aspect. When it comes to the social element, but at the biological level, it is just a reality. There is nothing that can be done about that. I mean, I can imagine myself as another entity, right? I can imagine myself as an animal, or I can imagine myself in other contexts that I could even socialize and make socially acceptable. But that doesn't change the biological reality that I cannot be that thing. And the point is, if we entertain certain delusions, because this is a medical delusion, meaning there is no question that this is not actually a correct assessment of the person's own biology, where do we limit that? I mean, at what point do we draw the line and say, okay, well, but you can't change your age because you identify as being younger, or you can't identify as a horse because you think that you are a horse?
this whole argument of, oh, this is how I feel, and as long as I'm not hurting anyone, I should be able to do it. I mean, at what point are we sort of saying, okay, it's totally fine to behave within and interact with society however you want. There are no limits.
Yeah, that's interesting and smart. I mean, when you say reductio ad absurdum, or absurd reductionism, like
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure it applies to other political issues, even abortion, where my complaint about abortion is, if you don't believe, if you think late term abortions are wrong, like, what's the cutoff point? Is it 600 hours plus 1 second? So it's like, how are you? Yeah.
That's because they're so left wing, like people who are socially left wing are obsessed with this anti-Christian perspective on human life, because their whole point is, oh well, like, because we've come to these conclusions about the sanctity of human life through what we consider to be an oppressive social configuration, like, so for them, Christianity is not just Christianity, but it's like an entire culture, and it's an entire encoding of the West. Like, all Western society is Christian, and Christianity is oppressive, therefore it's one of the things that makes all of Western society oppressive, right? And their whole principle is like, okay, well, how do we solve this? I mean, if all of our ethics and values come from Aristotelian, Platonic, and Christian thought, or like ancient Greece and ancient Rome and Christianity, how do we move away from this? Oh, well, we have science. Science is the new God, right? And this whole principle is like, okay, well, we should try to I don't know what the term in English would be, like technicize. We should try to technicize the process of dealing with these highly philosophical questions, right? Like, the issue of life in the womb is not something that can be dealt with empirically in the way that these people would want, because any attempt to sort of claim there is anything close to an objective truth, as they would imagine it, is absurd, about the nature of life in the womb. Like, life has agency and has like a right to be respected, previous to any sort of one thing, like the brain function or the heart function, right? Because if you say that about a baby in the womb, like, oh well, it's not cognitive, it's not cognizant, right? Or it is not living in the true sense. Well, what do we say about people who have Alzheimer's? Or what do we say about people whose brains are degrading to the point where we still keep them alive because we believe they're owed a certain dignity? But we, at that point, what you'd be arguing essentially, if you're trying to be consistent, is, oh, well, we should exterminate those people because they're a burden on society. I mean, like, the reverse occurs at the end stages of life as well. Like, the thing they're trying to apply to children would also apply equally to people who are in the end stages of their neurological capacity.
Starting to just look at Canada and the MAID program.
Yes, well, again, this is all related to utilitarianism, effective altruism, the left's general push towards empiricism, like against philosophy, and this idea that philosophy is a kind of corruption of the human soul. Because why should we debate things metaphysically when we could just debate them at the highly technical level? Because of course science is the answer to all things. It's like, well, yes, but like, if you can't verify anything as true because it's all rooted in subjective sense perception anyway, we might as well debate everything on the subjective, like, metaphorical, metaphysical, philosophical plane, right? We shouldn't debate things in this like highly practical way, especially when it comes to like deep questions of human dignity and human integration into society, whatever. Like, these people are they're trying to like put it as simply as possible. They're trying to fool people into thinking they have the best answer because they are being as dispassionate and technical as possible. But this dispassionate technical approach they have is actually just sociopathic.
Yeah, I agree. And to me, it's so funny to ask somebody. I like to say that all communication is hypnosis, or political, or projection. And if you ask somebody, are you political? They'll deny it, even though they're talking about politics nonstop. And then, a lot of it is sociopathic. And if you ask them, what is the difference between, facts and opinions? They can't actually they can't explain that. And then the funniest thing is, it's just, if you ask them, their political position after they just told it to you, is that a fact or opinion? They will say it's a fact. And so that to me is like the epitome of a hypocrite. And like you said, a sociopath. To me, that indicates, a sociopathic tendency with that person. Yeah.
They're not concerned with the human being. They're not humanists, right? They are concerned with moral superiority. And I think a lot of this, like modern neuroses in the left, is something that is strongly rooted in trauma. A lot of these people have been heavily traumatized when they were young. And they had to deal with the hard reality of a single person's philosophy in raising them against their own flaws, and they were too weak to overcome these flaws. And in my opinion, like if I'm doing a very broad scale social, like psychological analysis, I think a lot of these people are trying to regain a sense of control by eliminating all the humanist, all the subjective humanist, stoic, conservative, philosophically legitimate like understandings we've come to about humanity as a form of rebellion or as like a form of counterculture, which has now just become the mainstream. I mean, we're finally moving away from this after a long time, but there is something inside these people that wants to rebel against the initial upbringing they had, against the highly structured society they were living in. I don't understand why. I mean, a lot of these people are millennials who lived during what is arguably the most prosperous period in American history. Who knows why they have so much to complain about? I think probably their prosperity is also partially the reason, right? If you just have too much given to you and you have so much time to sit around and sort of ponder life, and you're not from a particularly cultured or adversely affected generation, right? Because you don't really develop character in these periods of prosperity. You're going to make a mess of it when you actually try to engage in sort of broad scale politicking and so societal construction and all of that. You're going to probably shit your pants in that regard. And they have quote unquote shit their pants in this regard. They're fucking useless. A lot of these millennial philosophers or like politicians who are trying to be nice, like their whole thing is, niceness is very important. You have to be very nice. You can't offend people. You can't hurt people. But they're totally disinterested in goodness. Like whether someone's fundamental motivations, despite outwardly being controversial and potentially provocative, whether their actual interior motivations are good, does not matter to them. It's all about aesthetics. It's all about superficiality.
Well, I've been going on and on about my theory of like the average speaker, the average listener, meaning that like we may say 800 words a day and listen to 1,300 words a day on average. But basically everybody on the left in particular is like Beavis and Butthead roaming around, never reading a book, just social do-gooding, Karening, LGBTQing, DEIing, CRTing, BLMing everywhere they go. But they will never engage in poetry. They won't read any sacred wisdom text. And so they're literally just like spammers. And therefore, that's their real politic. There's no philosophical engagement, no question of the soul. It's
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all politic all the time.
Or they're not developing any wisdom because they're like, I guess their whole political agenda is radicalism for the sake of radicalism. Because, like, again, if your ideology is mostly performative and you need to perform in order to survive in this ideology, you have to always come up with new and more aggressive ways to perform. Like, a classic example of this would be, like, the kneeling for BLM, right? That this was, like, a big thing back in, like, the 2018, 2019 period. Like, a lot of people were kneeling to apologize for the crimes of. This is a performative act of humility, even though the person might have no sincerity or even comprehend the gesture they're making. The point is, how ostentatiously, how aggressively can I humiliate myself in order to show that I'm a virtuous person, in order to show that I'm a good person, without regard for whether there is anything beyond the superficial gesture. Same as like Native American burial ground acknowledgements or land acknowledgements, right? It's all about like, how can I be as bureaucratic, obsessive, how can I be as pedantic as possible about these cultural issues so as to show that I'm very aware of them, that I care, that I'm deeply engaged, but there's no follow-up. There's no like, okay, but what have you actually, besides just saying these pretty words to make yourself look good, what have you concretely done?
Okay, I'm all brushed up, ready for bed. Just water picked and brushed and flossed and tongue scraped. And now I'm going to leave you with a special little erotic ASMR. And I'm going to close my door and let my cameras roll all night. It's now 3:45 in the morning. The rest of the world is just waking up. They're going to come across this live stream by the thousands. Outside Kitover Diamonds if you're hunting for something. I think I can't remember what it's called, erotic ASMR. It's this chick that has this YouTube channel. There's like a couple of people that do this, but Simone ASMR. So many people on YouTube. It's like, oh yeah, here you go. Sensual Mystic ASMR. Let's see how many subscribers this chick has now. 6.2 thousand. She does a lot of work. She's only got 6.2 thousand. She keeps going and going and going and going. Essential Serenity, a hypnotic journey into mindful presence. And I'm going to let it run on repeat. She's a beautiful woman. I love what she's doing with this. It's like ultimate relaxation. I think it's mostly ad lib. She doesn't read anything.
Hypnotic journey and sensuality, where every moment unfolds like a delicate dance, inviting you to slow down and immerse yourself